1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, la 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 la, let's go. Hello everyone, meanwhile Anya the stage is back with bringing you some important music news. The end of the year brings a lot of awards nominations lists, and one of it is, of course, the Grammys. So a little bit of basic information and history for you. A Grammy award, or originally the Gramophone Award, or just the Grammys, is an honor awarded by the Recording Academy to recognize an outstanding achievement in the mainly English language music industry. First awards ever were given in the year of 1958. Annual ceremony features live performances of notable artists and the presentation of those awards that have a more popular interest, like the general field categories, most of rock and alternative nominations, movie scores, and so on. So what exactly are the general field categories? As their name suggests, they are general. They kind of unite all genres and choose things like Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best New Artist. Interesting fact though, didn't quite understand at first what is the difference between Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year. Record of the Year is rewarded for one single or one particular song from an album. This award goes to the performing artist, the producer, recording engineer, and or mixer. In that sense, record means a particular recorded song, not its composition. Song of the Year is also awarded for a single or an individual track, but the recipient of this award is a songwriter who actually wrote the lyrics and the melodies for that track. Song in this context mean the song as composed, not its recording. Album of the Year is awarded for whole album piece, and the award itself presented to artist, the producer, recording engineer, and mastering engineer for that particular album. A multi-track LP, CD, or a download package. And the rest of the categories kind of divide all these into different genres. Like so do a group, or if you're talking about genres, rock, alternative, reggae, country, spoken word, musical theater, and many others. And there are also separate awards for producers, remixes, packaging, and soundtracks. The number of awards given grew and fluctuated over the years, with categories added and removed, at one point reaching over 100. So in this video we are obviously not going to highlight every existing nomination. We're going to talk about the most popular ones and the most relevant for us. We do understand that, for example, classical music or musical theater are relevant and cool overall, but it's just that we are not really familiar with those fields and don't really have that much of an interest for it. So we'll be talking about general categories like pop, alternative, rap, electronic, and dance music, also non-classical field producers, couple of R&B nominations, and some scores and packaging. It's kind of random, but it's cool that there's an award for that. So let's start with probably the biggest nomination, Album of the Year. Views by Drake. Well, pretty much all the Views nominations for Grammy are a joke. This is Drake's least cohesive and least interesting album to date. There are a couple of great tracks, some hits, but overall, just no. Bieber also has a couple of good tracks on his latest LP, but it's obviously not enough for a nomination in my opinion. Lemonade by Beyonce, oh boy. I'm gonna say this from the start, and you're probably gonna hate me for it so bad. Lemonade is super overrated. I like Beyonce as an artist, and I really like her 2014 self-titled album, for example. It's an outstanding work. I do really enjoy this work, and I do come back to this album quite a lot, actually. Lemonade, I've listened to it a couple of times it came out, and that's it. Like rest of the spring, summer, fall, December. At some point I even forgot that Beyonce had an album this year. Don't get me wrong, there are some great pieces on it. There are some great features, lovely production, some experimentations. Information is a great hit track, but as the full album, it's not that ideal as every single music media presents it to be. But yeah, back to the nominations. Sturgill Simpson is also on there, and as far as I'm not that big of his fan or this exact kind of music, I feel like this is actually a very deserved nomination. The album is indeed very good, very involving, quite easy to listen to get your mind and soul into it. It's great. Adele's 25 is not my favorite Adele album. I like 19 and 21 much more than that. I don't feel like this album as a whole works that well to be nominated in this category, but there are some beautiful moments on it, and Adele is overall pretty great. Who I think is gonna win this? Probably Beyonce, because it's Beyonce. It's possible that she's going to win all of her other, what, like 9 nominations. And yes, I think it will be super overrated, the album, but it's the Grammys, so what else did I expect? Record of the year. Wow, well here, actually, I'd like pretty much any result except maybe Lucas Graham. Song isn't that great. But yeah, I already told you, Formation is great. Hello is also very good. Very emotional, all-time hit killer, the mother of so many cute memes on the interwebs, and overall, Adele's great. Work by Rihanna and Drake. I love Rihanna so much. She's amazing, and I think Work track is really fun, but a Grammy nomination for it? A Grammy award for it? Okay, the nomination, okay, but the award, like an actual win? Questionable. Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. I don't believe that 21 Pilots gonna win this, but if they will, it'd be hella surprising and kind of cool in a way. I'm not a 21 Pilots stan or that in love with Stressed Out, but I just feel like it's nice to see something like that be nominated in a category like this. Probably Beyonce gonna win this though anyway, or Adele. For Song of the Year, we have kind of the same list except some of the tracks. I Took a Pill in Ibiza by Mike Posner is kind of trash, sorry. And Justin Bieber with Love Yourself. I mean, it has a cute message and it's lovely produced, but I don't feel like this is the song that should be nominated from his album. Again, here either Beyonce with Formation or Adele with Hello. Both interesting tracks lyrically and performed beautifully, and huge hits as well. In this one, I'd vote for Hello by Adele. Best New Artist category. I don't know anything about Kelsea Ballerini, to be honest, and Maren Morris also. It sounds familiar, but I don't know who are these people and why are they here. Let me know in the comments if you think that they should win this and why. Chainsmokers. Oh boy, my favorite band! The Trash, I don't know why they're here. I don't know why they're anywhere. Like, why do they exist? It's a whole another topic. Chance the Rapper and Anderson .Paak, good for them. Really well-deserved nominations. I personally really love Paak to win this, but probably Chance will take it. Or Chainsmokers, and I will lose my faith in humanity, or at least in Grammy Awards. In pop field, we have a Best Pop Vocal Album category. If we're talking production-wise and overall great album-wise, I'd say Ariana Grande with Dangerous Woman. Good album. Vocally, Ariana also killed it, but we have Adele and Sia as well with their not so bad albums. I'd really like Sia to win a Grammy. Probably Adele will take this one, and that's fine. You know, this is Adele, and Beyonce is not nominated in this category, so do the math. In Best Pop Solo Performance, we have these tracks. Hold Up from Lemonade isn't that bad of a track. It's one of the good cuts on the overrated, very overrated much album. One of the good cuts, but not one of the best cuts. Again, I'd love Adele to win this because overall this is an amazing pop, huge hit track. And again, this is Adele. She's great. She's cool. I don't think she's overrated as much as Beyonce. I wish Adele would be overrated. In Best Pop Duo / Group Performance, we have this. The Trash Smokers, my favorite band, here again with Halsey, my favorite singer ever. Here, everything except Closer and 7 Years winning, to see winning, actually would be great. If we're talking in a matter of how duet worked out and how the music connected different people, different artists, I think Work is a great example of that. There's some intense chemistry between Riri and Drake. You can insert your homoerotic, crazy, fun girl dreams, shipping dreams somewhere here after me saying about like connection and chemistry, but 21 Pilots is okay in this category. It's a band though, and it's hard for me to compare, you know, a feature on someone's track and a band track. I don't think it's very comparable, but Grammys disagree. Chip Thrills is a great track, but as a duo, Sean Paul didn't really do that much of work. If I come back to this track, to Chip Thrills, I come back for Sia, not for Sean Paul. So this is my solo performance for me rather than a duo one. And God, don't let the Chain Thrashers win this with Halsey. Please, don't do it to us. In the dance/electronic music field, we have Best Dance Recording category. For me, the winner here is kind of obvious. I'm a huge Flume fan, and I'd really love Flume to win this. I think it's a great track, great heat material track. Kai is really good in it. The production is really good in it. EDM at its best. All the other tracks are a little bit bland for me personally, but you know, you never know. Best electronic/dance album. Jean-Michel Jarre had a pretty cool record, though I'm not so sure if it really deserves to be called a best record. There are some good parts, but as a whole united piece, I'm not so sure. For me, the best album, as in the whole sense of the album, is again probably Flume with Skin. Really good piece of work with some really nice features, production, and even some experiments. In the rock field, as Pitchfork recently said, whatever rock means nowadays. For best rock performance, we have this. Okay tracks in this are Don't Hurt Yourself by Beyoncé featuring Jack White, which actually didn't really work for me that much in the very beginning, but then I realized that it's nice to see Beyoncé step in this field and try herself in this genre, plus collaborating with the amazing, legendary Jack White. Though I think it would be much more accurate to give it some sort of best experimentation or best collab award rather than a best rock performance. Heathens by 21 Pilots is a huge track, was a huge track, and I think still is. I kind of reopened 21 Pilots with this one. Everybody's sick of that track by this point, but we all gotta agree that it was actually kind of awesome. Does it deserve a best rock performance though? Not so sure. I think Black Star is an amazing track, especially considering the fact that David Bowie had so many releases, so many songs, so many different genres experimentation, and so many different phases in his career. When releasing something like Black Star, which sounds incredible and affects you hugely due to the emotional and this raw performance, is a big deal. So I think giving an award, this kind of award, to David Bowie here and to his track Black Star, since it's nominated, is the most adequate thing to do. Black Star is also nominated in the Best Rock Song. Heathens as well, and I think in this category it actually works much better. I think Tyler Joseph deserves an award for it, maybe not a Grammy, but some sort of award for it. For me personally though, the best rock song here is Burn the Witch by Radiohead. It's so complex, so beautifully produced, and so structured with such a deliberate vocal delivery. All its details and instrumentation, and lyrically as well. So good. So yeah, Burn the Witch. The category for the best rock album is really funny this year. Both Panic at the Disco, Brandon Urie at the Disco, and Blink 182 are a joke. I don't even know what to say with this one. Cage the Elephant and Gojira. Interesting choices for a nomination here. Not that bad albums, but definitely not the best. I root for Wizard in this one. They have a really good album this year. Disagree a little bit on this one being a purely rock album though, but we do remember that nobody remembers what rock is exactly, so never mind. Wizard deserve it. In one of the most interesting fields, the alternative field, we have the best alternative music album. This is so hardcore. Every year I watch this category and I'm like, how can you compare those albums? But apparently you have to. They're all alternative in the thinking of the Grammys. Like, I don't really get why David Bowie is here. I mean, he is a mostly rock music legend, and him being nominated in the alternative field category just feels a bit wrong, don't you think? PJ Harvey is also here, also huge, but her latest release is quite questionable and definitely not one of the highlights for me. Radio had an incredible, complex, beautiful release, a moon-shaped pool. I'd be really happy for Radiohead to win this, actually. Bon Iver and Iggy Pop, I don't really know. I mean, Bon Iver here nominated feels a little bit like Beyonce being nominated at all the other categories. It's like, oh, Bon Iver dropped an album this year. We're gonna put him in the alternative field best album because it's Bon Iver. We have to. 22 Million was okay. It's an okay album, but a Grammy for it? I don't know. Not really. Same with Iggy Pop. Not the best album. Calm down. In the R&B field, there are a couple of quite interesting categories like the best R&B performance. Personally, I'd really love Solange to win this. She had an incredible piece of music this year with some lovely lyrical and vocal performance. Plus, Solange deserves a Grammy. Rihanna is also pretty amazing in Needed Me. One of the good tracks, one of the best tracks on her Anti. The vocal delivery is interesting and wide. The lyrics, not so deep as I remember, but still good. Best R&B song. Tory Lanez with Love here is probably one of the most interesting nominees, as it has a real cool list of people working on this track, including my favorite Cashmere Cat and Benny Blanco, besides Tory Lanez himself. Plus, it's a good song. Not sure about being the best one again, but it's good. Here, I mostly would be happy for the producers of the track, both Cashmere Cat and Benny Blanco. Winning this would be great. Rooting for Rihanna here as well, as I really enjoy Kiss It Better. This is an incredible track. Don't really get why Come and See Me is here. It's so irrelevant and even a little bit annoying. Are you with me on this? Quick light angle change. We have a best urban contemporary album. Beyonce apparently did not have enough, so besides the general best album, we have this. At the first glance, quite hard choice. Thinking more about it, not that hard anymore. Both Gallant and Pac have quite incredible albums. Both Riri and Beyonce do not get to the level of the albums to be ideal. Something that people can't stop listening to till today. I'd like Anderson .Paak to win this. If we don't care about album part and the music overall, don't care about the music because it's the Grammys after all, I'd say Rihanna. Let Rihanna win this. Let us have this Rihanna moment. Rihanna on the stage accepting an award, maybe dabbing a little bit. I don't know. I just want to see Rihanna with a Grammy in her hands. Yes, please. Do it. The rap field has a best rap performance with these nominees, and well, Pop Style by Drake is actually one of the good cuts for me on Views. Probably the only one deserved Views nominations. Not a huge fan of All the Way Up or No Problem, though Chance and this track were huge this year. Not as huge as Panda though. Everybody's sick of this song by now, but again, we gotta agree that it's a pretty decent, it's a pretty cool track. Personally, for me here, the best one is That Part, but the chances are high for Chance the Rapper or Designer to take this. In the best rap/song performance, which is sort of a best collab, best vocal track, which includes some rapping in it, we have this, and gotta say, Hotline Bling is already classic. Really rooting for Hotline Bling. Should I even comment more on this? I'd also love Kanye to win this. Both those tracks aren't my favorites on the Pablo, but I like the production and influences on Ultralight Beam, and love the lyrics of Famous. Every track that disses Taylor Swift is automatically my favorite track. Kind of similar nominations we have for the best rap song category. For me, again, here it's either Hotline Bling or nothing. Well, or Famous by Kanye. If he win this, and if he will attend the ceremony, he will, you know, mention Taylor Swift in his acceptance speech and make it like 20 minutes long. You know, I want that kind of show. I miss those kind of shows. I miss the old Kanye, you know? For the best rap album, I have some questions. Like, why the hell a mixtape is nominated for the best album? I know it's not the first year. I know that mixtapes are usually considered the same as albums, but why? This is not an album. Those are different things. Color Book, get out of here. Even if it's a good mixtape, Color Book is okay. Not my favorite from this year, but okay, it's okay, but it's a mixtape. The Life of Pablo is very arguable and complex and weird in some of its points, and it's releasing history. But I think from all of these albums, it's probably the most deserving. Schoolboy Q also has a pretty decent album, not the best rap album, but an okay album. So yeah, if Chance the Rapper gonna win the best album category with his mixtape, I'm gonna be pissed. A very cool field now. Music for the visual media. We have a best compilation soundtrack nomination with some really interesting albums. It's kind of hard to compare all of those records because they sound very different from each other and include a varied amount of amazing tracks. I personally vote either for Emmy here or Vinyl, just because I really like the soundtrack of that show. And Emmy was mesmerizing, the soundtrack was amazing. So yes. The best score soundtrack. As far as I really admire some of those composers, well-established and well-known composers, I really root for Kyle and Michael with Stranger Things here. One of the best original soundtracks, TV show soundtracks in years. Really love this one, and I think it perfectly fits the vibe, and I've re-listened to it so many times now. It's great. It's really good. In a best song written for film category, we have for this, I think Heathens here is probably the best, but in a matter of a song specifically written for film, I'd say let Shakira win this with Try Everything, because Zootopia was freaking huge this year. It makes sense for her to win this, but as far as I'm surprised saying that, I'm rooting for 21 Pilots here. In the best music video category, we have some beautiful videos. Both OK Go and Coldplay have pretty interesting vids, especially OK Go. Of course, I feel like all of their videos should be just nominated here, like all 5 nominees are OK Go. But stylistically here, I'd prefer Formation or Gosh by Jamie Sachs. Mostly Gosh. It looks epic, it looks hard to film, it really fits the song well, it hypnotizes you like a voodoo witch. Formation only does make you feel the swag and the pride and how all cool Beyonce is, and we already know that, so I'd vote for Gosh. There's also a Best Music Film nomination with some interesting choices, and it's kind of obvious that Beyonce will win this, and it will be deserved. I like her visual album much more than the actual album, though even the film has its own weaker and a little bit more boring moments. But overall, it's a huge work with some beautiful cinematography and ideas behind it. Lemonade, well deserved. Another interesting, in our opinion, field is the production field. The best engineered non-classical album. It feels wrong to me that there are so many amazingly engineered albums and they're not there. From all of those, I'd say Tom Elmhurst and Co. for Black Star, or the crew working on Prince's Hit and Run Phase 2. Andrew Bird had a pretty great engineering as well, but I don't think it's Grammy worthy, you know? Producing, one of the coolest jobs right now. There's of course a category for it, and the nominees are Benny Blanco, a 28 years old aspiring legend, Benjamin 11. This year produced all of Francis and the Lights, a magical record piece, plus some of the best cuts on Weekend's Starboy, though I don't think he's nominated for it because Starboy just came out. But yeah, Attention, he produced Attention. I love this track. Benny Blanco. Some of Tory Lanez as well, of course. Love Yourself by Justin Bieber, which is, for me, not that good, but most of the people are obsessed with it for some reason. Not surprised seeing him nominated here. He deserves it. Greg Kurstin and Max Martin both nominated here, probably for producing Adele's 25 album, Hello and all that, and yeah, well, I'm not really that familiar with Greg's work. I feel like he was nominated for a Grammy before, and Martin is a production pop hits monster. So do they really need a Grammy? Also 1985 is nominated here. He produced Views, which is, well, a questionable masterpiece of this year, but he also worked on DVSN's album September 5th, which I like much more than Drake's latest release. And Ricky Reed, his only work I'm interested in from this year is You Don't Get Me High Anymore by Pentagram, but I mean, that's it. So yeah, I'd like either Blanco or 1985 winning this. If you didn't know that, Grammy also has a remixing category. I didn't even really heard of the remixes here before, but I do like the Bob Moses one. by RAC. RAC remixes are really good, and I like this remix much more than the original track. Chemical Brothers remix is also pretty fun. Joe Goddard made it a little bit ambient-ish, but with some disco funk attitude and modern synth pop charisma. I dig it. Another cool nomination is Best Packaging. The nominees for the Best Recording Packaging. There was a lot of beautiful packaging this year. Some extremely must collectible vinyls, for example. All 5 nominees here have really well put it packages. Personally, I like Black Star the most for ideas and the minimalism. Stilistically, I really dig Human Performance by Parquet Courts and its art director Andrew Savage, and 22 Million by Bon Iver. Beautifully packaged record. Anti has a beautiful cover, but overall the packaging didn't really blow me away. Riri herself though looks amazing. Want to mention one last nomination here for Best Box or Special Limited Edition Packaging. It has some amazing box sets. I'm personally rooting for I Like It When You Sleep by 1975. Samuel Burgess Johnson and Matthew Healy, the frontman himself, both collaborated on this one, and I just love how pleasant it looks. So yeah, don't really think they're gonna win this, but would be happy for them, and the nomination is 100% deserved. Now that we've talked about what was maybe nominated for wrong reasons and shouldn't be at those lists at all, let's also discuss what Grammys should have included and decided not to for some reason. I know, we all know that Grammys are about commercial things and politics, but let's forget about it for a moment and let's just talk about the best albums practically. Grammy-worthy albums. Let me start by saying that yes, it's pretty cool the thing Frank Ocean did this year, beforehand withdrawing all possible future Grammys nominations, but I still think that Blonde deserves all the recognition and all the awards. In my dreams, all the Grammys went to Blonde, just so you know. Then we have the 1975 sophomore LP, I Like It When You Sleep, for You Are So Beautiful, Yet So Unaware of It, which was surprisingly decent pop record. Fantastic pop record, to be honest. We have Anani's beautiful record, Hopelessness, so mesmerizing, so deep, so hurting, so emotional, with such detailed and complex production from Hudson Mahog and 106 Point Never. Producers, in my opinion, really deserve the recognition here, and Anani herself, so good. We have James Blake with The Color in Anything, the record which I still deeply love. It has its flaws, but overall I think it works so well and it's so well put it together. I don't get, and I don't want to get, why music media ignores this album so much. I genuinely think that it was one of the 2016's highlights. Def Hines aka Blood Orange released an amazing record this summer called Freetown Sound. So nostalgic and so vivid and full of beautiful moments. For me, it's just weird that Def doesn't have any big award for it, or for any of his stuff, in fact. And there are more great albums out there, plus some newcomers who went really huge this year and blew our minds. But yeah, they're not on the list. So this is our Grammys 2017 nominations review. What do you think about the nominees? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think should win? Let us know in the comments down below, and as always, don't forget to hit like and to share this video, as well as to subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate your support. Get your Christmas playlists ready. Also start re-listening all the music which came out this year. You still have plenty of time to finish your music of the year list. My voice is gone. Have a great one and peace off.